Leon Britton urged to comment on 1980s paedophile dossier. A Labour MP has called for a former Home Secretary to make public what he knew about allegations of paedophiles operating in Westminster in the 1980s. Simon Danczuk said that a dossier of allegations about paedophiles was presented to Leon Britton when he was Home Secretary between 1983 and 1985. It would be welcome if he stepped forward and shared his knowledge of the allegations, he told MPs. It would be welcome. He knew what was going on and who in the Tory party were child sex abusers. So we should demand, the government should demand, and the police should also demand that this squatty little runt coughs up what he knows. But don't you get the impression that all MPs just do not want to get involved with anything to do with rooting out MP child sex offenders? They'll debate for days and days whether it's right or wrong to be able to smack a child because you might hurt them. But when it comes to dirty old Tory men with their manhood and children being abused, well, they seem to run a mile, don't they? If I knew of a child sex ring operating where I worked, I'd want to do all I could to get the truth out so that those responsible could be locked up and have their cocks chopped off. But with MPs, there seems to be a real reluctance to get to the truth about their former and present colleagues sexually abusing children, and I wonder why this is. I mean, look at this article. MPs say they feel bullied over sex abuse probe. MPs feel bullied into signing a petition demanding an inquiry into child sex abuse, MPs have heard. Labour's Simon Danczuk told the Commons Home Affairs Select Committee that over 120 MPs had signed a letter to the Home Secretary calling for a probe. But Tory Mark Reckless said some colleagues were fearful that if they did not sign, they would be accused of being sexual abuse deniers. Sexual abuse deniers. You gotta love that term. But again, this shows the reluctance for MPs not really wanting to get behind Simon Danczuk and root out these evil characters. Whoever feels bullied into being asked to help look into child sex abuse in Westminster tells me one of two things about that person. Either they know who the paedophiles are in government and don't want it coming out, or they themselves are paedophiles and they don't want it coming out. Why else would they not want to do all they could to help these children and to root out the scum? I ask you, Mark Reckless, if you are none of the above, then why would you not want to root out the pedos in Westminster and help Simon Danczuk all you could? Do you hate children that much that you will allow them to be abused by your colleagues whilst you turn your back? I would suggest the real reason that these MPs don't want the truth coming out is because they know that the scale of child sex abuse going on is so huge that it could literally bring down the government, if not the monarchy. I come back to why was Jimmy Savile and Prince Charles really good friends? Such good friends that Savile was the intermediary between Charles and Diana when their marriage was a sham and falling apart. And what was it that Jimmy Savile used to attain for Prince Charles? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to work it out. If this information is going to come out, then you can tell by Mark Reckless's response of the feeling bullied that the MPs aren't going to be the ones to force it out. It's going to come from you and I with a lot of help from Simon Danczuk, who seems quite a decent chap for an MP.